Well, hello. I do not know what is going on. And I guess there's quite a delay here. And it is not coming up. Not the way I had planned. Good morning, Katie Crafts and Carol Hofstetter. I think I'm going to have to go off here. Figure that out in the future, hopefully. But anyway, good morning. Let's start from the beginning. Well, we can't start from the beginning, but we can try to get going on better now. I'm Jean, and this is Weekly Stitch Chat with Captain Stitches, where if it's about stitching, let's talk. Now that we got all of that over, and I apologize, but there's always the little glitches that you have to work out when you're trying something new and trying to actually improve on what I am doing through this channel and my YouTube with you so that I can share my views of what I am doing a little better. And let me check and make sure that I haven't missed anyone that is in the chat. I thank you all for joining me this morning. But now, hopefully, if I do this correctly, I will show you what I have been experimenting with last night and this morning, and hopefully I will get this to pop up correctly. And now you should be seeing me over here, the stitching view over here, and the sewing machine view over here. And I hope that is what you are seeing. There is such a delay on my end that there it shows up now, but that is what I have come up with, and I can change from those so that we are not seeing them all at once. So that is something that I have done to hopefully improve when I am going over things with you during my lives and my videos so that I can show when I'm stitching on something, you'll be able to see it better. And when I'm working at the sewing machine, you will be able to see it better. Thank you, Danielle, and welcome. Looks amazing. Thank you. And I don't have all the equipment that I ordered yet. That is with part of it and working with what I have right now. So hopefully next time it will be even better. And if I miss any of you, I am very, very sorry. I don't mean to, but I have a few extra things to be looking at and paying attention to right now. And just a little bit, hoping that everything goes smoothly and that it works all right. So let's get on with our stitch talk and what I have for you today. And the first thing that we are going to be doing is I started the little needle book. I believe it was last week. And I also shared some of that in my week in review. But since I have it set up so that you can actually see me working on that, I am going to stitch on that, some of it for you this morning and show you how I work on that. We will open it up. And I am going to be this little lace trim down here that I hope you can see is not stitched on yet. And I need to stitch that on. So I will be working on that this morning, first of all, while we chat. So you are able to follow along and see how I do that. And you will notice these have been moved because you need to plan your stitching. That is one of the tips I wanted to go over with all of you on that. And that is that when you are doing something such as a needle book or a stitch book, there's a little tiny bead. I know you can't see that, but that was sitting there. I was playing with some beads this morning, and one just happened to not be where it belongs. But one of the things, because I rushed through a little bit when I was working on this stitch book, which there's the front and the back cover, first of all. And what you need to do is make sure that before attaching those layers together, you stitch anything that is on the front, and this would be the back side here, that you stitch everything that you're going to put on there first. And then anything that you are going to stitch on this inside part needs to be stitched before the two are put together. Otherwise, your stitching is going to show through on the other side. So right now I am having to deal with stitching in a way that I can try and slide my needle between those layers so that the stitching does not show on the other side. Otherwise, I need to plan my stitching so that something else that I'm going to put on will cover it. So that's just a great tip. Make sure that you plan when you are doing your stitchery and your embroidery and your embellishing, because also on these pages here, I am having to, where this pocket is going to be stitched on, that's why I moved this out of the way, because I will have to stitch this pocket on first, and then I will move this down here to hopefully disguise most of that stitching or make it blend so that it is another design element. And then on these, I haven't decided what's going on this page yet, but I will have to either stitch what is on. I will probably be stitching these first because I think I'm going to do more of a full cover up on this page. This one will remain like this because I want it for pins and stuff. Haven't decided what's going on there yet. And then you see on this, and I'll try and go a little slower, but where I stitched that on and stitched the division on it, you notice you can see that on this page, which isn't a real big deal, but it bothers me and it may bother other people. So I will be trying to plan something that is going on there. But like I say, make sure that you plan those type of things out first. Do every component of your needle book separately before you put it together. And then you won't have that problem, which is what I have done in the past. I don't know why I messed up and didn't do that on this one, but it's okay. I will figure out a way to make that work. And Kelly's Quilts and Cruises says, I may ask for a web camera for my birthday in March, but the phone app I have is actually pretty good and it's compatible with StreamYard. Sounds like a good request, Kelly, which I don't actually use my phone for my lives. I've never used my phone yet to record or tape or do one of my lives or my videos. I use my tablet most of the time when I'm doing a video, and I use my laptop when I'm going live. Right now, my camera, and I will show you that view also. Let's go to gallery. This camera right here, where I'm waving at you with my hand, that is actually my phone. That is what I am using for the camera for my sewing machine. And then the one right here, where I'm now waving at you down here, where the stitching view is, that is an old tablet that I am no longer using, and that I will be using as a camera only. I am getting a new webcam, but that will be on my tablet the majority of the time, at least, just for better clarity. Yeah, better view on when I'm just using the tablet and doing my lives and that type of thing, and to use if I need to in some other manner in the future. But those are my laptop is me. My phone is the sewing machine, and my old tablet is the stitching view. And I am going to go back to that view for right now so we don't have too many things going and confuse you. But yes, that is how I have it set up. And then I am following the chat on my good tablet that I use all the time. So we cannot see anything over there. I don't know where over there is. Yes, it's probably because I didn't have that. I didn't have that one on for you. I don't, if you will let me know what over there is. Hello, Denise So Patch 33. Welcome, welcome. My laptop is the main camera for live and chat. The phone is for an extra camera. Got it, Kelly. That's how I'm using mine right now also. So, but what I am going to do now, I will leave it as this is because I think you can see what I'm doing, and then I can also see the other view right now. Good morning, Robin Brown from Arizona. I don't think I have seen you before. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is the weekly Stitch Talk with Kept in Stitches, and I am actually going to do some stitching now as we chat. I have my, and this is my lap app, by the way, what I have this set up on right now. And I have shown you that in previous videos. I'm not going to pick it up and change it now because it's all set for under the view. So I will show you that again at another time. But what I'm going to stitch on is this lace trim on the bottom of this right now. I need to go have a shower. I just popped in to say hi. Well, thank you very much for popping in to say hello, Kelly, and go and enjoy your day. And how I am stitching this on is I am actually doing it the same way that I would work if I was doing needle turn applique, even though I'm not turning anything. It is an edge that I can do that the same way. And I've got to get my thread a little untangled here. It's a little bit on the long side. And Jeannie Whitworth, good morning, she says to Jean and chatters. There are several chatters here this morning. Welcome to you. Thank you for popping on and joining us. But so that is how I am stitching this on, and it is not going through all the layers. It is just going through the pocket layer on the very bottom here is what I'm attaching that to. So I don't have to worry that that is going to show through on the other side. And I have a tickle in my throat right now. So I'm sorry if you'll excuse me, which I hope you all have either your cup of coffee or tea this morning as we sit and chat together. And hopefully maybe some of you are also stitching this morning. I love it if I knew and if I could see, I would love for others to actually be stitching on things also as we have this little chat on all things that have to do with stitching. For those of you that may be new and aren't aware, Kept in Stitches encompasses all forms of stitching. If it has to do with needle arts, with the exception of maybe a few that I don't do, that is what I do. I love quilting. I love hand quilting. I love embroidery. I love crocheting. I love counted cross stitch, applique, all types of stitching. And that is what I share with you. While stitching and hoping and helping to inspire you in your stitching journey. which right now we're working on this little stitch book. Oops, we didn't want to catch the head of that pin with the loop of that thread, which I can take that out now. That was just holding that to make sure that it stayed at the height on there that I wanted it to. And Robin says that she is new to the channel after looking for someone using a Tin Lizzie. Yes, all right, I remember now, Robin, except there's a couple of you that have mentioned that you found me when you were searching for information on Tin Lizzie, which is the long arm that I have behind me. So hopefully I will be able to help you with questions and concerns that you have on that. And I don't believe that I will do a live video using the Tin Lizzie because it's a little noisy and, I wouldn't be able to hear over it, and it would be noisy. You wouldn't be able to hear me, but I may do a recorded video with some tips and demonstrations on using Tin Lizzie, the long arm, which I do call mine Lizzie for short, but not stitching or sewing yet. Making a late breakfast, says Katie Crafts. Well, I have already prepared and we've had our breakfast. I've had my shower. I know my hair doesn't look like it. I'm having a bad hair day. Just like some days we have a bad stitching day, nothing seems to go right. Well, I'm having a bad hair day, but I believe that's because it's, at that 6 to 8 week period when it's time for a little revamping on the haircut. So we'll be getting that done shortly, and hopefully it will start cooperating again. Oh, the things we endure. But let me know if you are able to see if this is a good view, or if I need to hold this differently. I know that when my hand goes over the top, of course, oops, caught on the corner there, you aren't able to see that, but I'm hoping that you can see the way that I am actually doing the stitching on this. And even though we call this slow stitching, mindless stitching, unplanned stitching, a lot of ways to refer to this type of stitching, you can see that it's really not taking very long at all to be able to, the needle doesn't want to go through that part right there. And that's because I tacked that down a little. And I am just going to go ahead and I can make my knot here because it's not going to show. And then I'm going to bury it by going through the layers. I come up here, I will be able to trim that off, just as when you are hand quilting, and that thread will stay under there and will not show through on the top. So now we have that stitched on, and we have, by the way, I folded this heirloom handkerchief. We have pockets right here. We have 2 pockets under there, and we have pockets here. So we have 3 on this side and 3 on this side to use, which makes it very nice because when you are stitching, there's always all sorts of little odds and ends, thread and things that we use. So it's always nice to have lots of room to put things. And I'm going to park my needle right there for right now. I do have a needle minder right over here in this little pocket that's on my lap app, but I'm going to leave that one there just to keep it separate. So let me check and see if there's, can't see what you are sewing. You couldn't see that I was stitching that lace down? That's what I was sewing. We can't see what you are sewing. Was my hand in the way? Is that what was in the way? Because I can see that the camera is definitely, if I bring it down, it's going to bring it forward this way. So if you'll go into a little bit of more detail on that, on what you're not able to see while I was stitching, that would help. Thank you. I'm going to put your advice to dance with Lizzie after I get my pasta sauce in the canner. I've got to use it or get rid of it. Great, great, Robin. And what I mean by that, dancing with your Lizzie, is what you want to do is you want to use one handle instead of gripping on two. And you use the motion of your hips and your waist to make it move instead of trying to steer it with your arm. That's what I mean by dancing with your Lizzie. Camera not on. It's still on speaker. Wow, how about that? There we go. Now can you see it? I could see it down there because it showed it as being pinned with me, but okay, I think I still have. Okay, no, it says gallery. Are you able to see it now? Hopefully. That's good to know because on my end, I could see both of them. Yes, okay, I am sorry. And I want to check and see. No, it still says it has the pin. Okay, was just checking a little something there, but I was trying to make it so it was only showing the one at a time. But okay, you can see it now. I apologize for that, but I was stitching this portion down on there. I have that to stitch on this other side too, which is this little piece of lace right here. And maybe I can show how I did that by adding this one. We are going to line that up right here on this edge first. And I'm going to stick my pin in that because I think I might need to trim just a little bit. It looks like it is going to be just a tad. Just a tad too big. So I am going to trim that a little bit off there so it fits correctly. Hello, Julia Jennings from Virginia. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. I am testing out new cameras and everything this morning, so I do apologize for the glitches. But how else are we going to work out the glitches if we don't try it out and see what happens? Which that was great. Great to know that what I thought we were seeing both cameras, we were not seeing both cameras. So, and I parked my needle over here. I already have my knot in that. I'm going to trim that little tail off there because of the way that I'm having to do that. I don't want that to pop up and show. And I'm going to come from underneath. Well, I'm glad I did that because first of all, this is not stitched down yet. So I have to do that first. So we're going to take that back off. When I went to slide my fingers all under there, I realized I have not stitched this down yet. And that is where I have to go through the layers. So I'm going to get over here as far as I can so that my knot's going to not show. And I'm looking at the other side just to make sure that, yes, I stayed within those layers. And I will be stitching it again the same way I do if I were doing needle turn applique. That edge is already folded. So I am sliding my needle between the layers. If you didn't catch my little tip in the beginning on making sure that you plan and stitch down things before you put your layers together that need to be stitched, you can go back and watch the replay on that. But before I go any farther, were you able to see me stitching on that now? And there's Junebug. Welcome, welcome. Like the setup, can see what you are doing. Thank you. Good morning, Nancy from our treasured home. So I like that you can see, but what I need to know, because I can't stitch and watch the camera at the same time, let me know if you are actually able to see as I put the stitches in. I know at one point my hand's going to get in the way when I actually pull the needle, but what I want you to mainly be able to see, let's slide this over a little, is the actual stitching itself. And it's taking a little finagling, if that's a word, to be able to get my needle to slide through those layers because they are actually fused together. I used a fusible webbing when I did that. You can see good and clear. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So I am so happy that I decided to play around last night and figure out a way to get these camera angles, which the stand that I am using for this camera over here is actually a very little one with the flexible legs that I had mounted on my long arm. It was wrapped around the handles on my long arm. And it doesn't work well on there because it shakes along with the long arm. So I have to figure out a different system for that. But it just dawned on me that, oh, that might work for setting my phone in it and using as a camera for my sewing machine view. And it does seem to have worked. And I should have my thimble on, but I don't. But again, you can see, and I'm going to go ahead and slide my thimble on before I poke the end of that needle through my finger. That doesn't feel good when that happens. So, and I'm also putting my little, we'll call it a doohingy. It's a little rubber tip for your finger that helps you be able to grip and pull your needle. Checking just to see that we haven't come to the end of the camera view here. But for those of you who haven't done needle turn applique, this is basically the same stitch. However, this edge is folded for me already, so I'm not having to fold that as I stitch it down. But it is the same stitch that you use for needle turn applique. I'm using an embroidery needle right now instead of an applique needle, but that's okay. They both will work. And I think you can see it says stitched with love right here on that little stamp that I used with some distressed ink and put on there. Oops, I could tell that that went all the way through. I'm doing this by feel so that I don't go all the way through to the other layer. Scoot, did I scoot the wrong way? Yes, I did. We'll scoot this way. Opposite direction for me so that you can see. And this other part is going to be stitched down differently. So I'm about to the end of what I can stitch this way. So I am going to park my needle right there to remind me that that's not stitched yet. But there, now we have that pocket stitched down so nothing falls through when we try to put something in the pocket. And that's why that part has to be stitched yet. For those that you may not have seen the week in review yet, this up here is actually a magnet with lace put around it, so it doesn't look quite as ugly. It's just a plain magnet up there, but that is to be used to be able to put your needles on there, and they will stay on there. So that is just showing you a little bit of how I stitch on the needle book and part of the putting that together. And if you want, I mean, I'm going to also work on part of the jellied charm quilt this morning. The other part of the stitching that I had planned on this. As we take up, oops, and we grabbed the needle that doesn't have the thread on it because they are both sticking so well to that needle minder. And somehow we got a knot in our thread here. I'm not sure how that happened, but we got it out. Okay. But what I am going to do is I'm going to stitch down this lace that is all the way across the top here. And what I have decided to do while I am stitching that lace down, let me just stick that pin in there before we lose it. And put that back in the box so we don't lose it either. Is I decided that I am going to add some little beads, which if I show that here, I keep forgetting that there's the other. I have all these little pink beads that I'm going to add on. Well, I just do a running stitch across here to stitch that lace that almost blends in perfectly with the stitch book. So we're going to see how that works. Hopefully I got the right size needle, and it's going to go through the eye of the needle and the thread that I have chosen on here, and I have already trimmed that off. And because I'm doing a running stitch, I'm not concerned that that's going to show on the other side. So I'm not going to try and go through the layers on this. So I'm going to start right on the end. And what I'm going to do is I am going to pick up a bead with the tip of my needle with each stitch that I make, and kind of slide it down there. And we're just going to do a small running stitch. And we're going to take this pin out of here right away so the thread doesn't get caught around that. And that will put a bead on every stitch that I take. And so we just pick the bead up. You have to make sure that you have a small enough needle so that, oops, where am I? This way. There we go. But so that the bead will go through the threaded end of the needle. So that's going to take a little longer to stitch because of adding each bead on individually as you go. You could put on several beads and slide them. Now, you wouldn't be able to do that for this project. Just disregard that I even said that. That would not work with this. You have to put them on one at a time. Some things that you crochet or whatever you can put on more than one and slide it up as you need it, but that will not work in this case because they would all end up all at the bottom in your first stitch. And so you have to do each one individually. And I will pick this up and show this a little closer. Sometimes this is like a fishing expedition, trying to catch the bead because they get static in them very, very easily, and they will pop away with the static away from your needle as you are trying to grab them. But by adding these beads, it's just going to add a little bit more decorative element. Whoa. Catch up with me here. There we go. To that stitching. So that is what I am doing on that section. And we're going to park that right there. Again, move the beads out of the way so we do not knock them over. Get that notification out of my way. So, is everyone still here? The chat is not moving, or have you all left me? I hope you haven't left me and that I have lost you. I hope everyone is still here. Let me know, someone, if you are still here and I am still here and live. Thank you. Very beautiful, Danielle says. One of the things that I wanted to talk about with you, because I know that there are a lot of stitchers in that are subscribed to me and also that are in my Facebook group that does go along with this. Thank you. Thank you, June and Carol. And Nancy says she's listening and taking notes. Well, awesome. That is great to take notes while you're watching. But don't forget, you can always go back and watch the replay and catch anything that you have missed also. just so far away. I think the heart is in the way. I can't take that out because unfortunately when you use Zoom, at least I haven't figured out a way that you can set up those settings like you can when you use the studio to set up your live, which is why I couldn't put a new notification for the going live either. There may be a way of doing that. We'll have to figure it out and find out, but I do not believe so. But the other thing that I wanted to share with you is, because like I said, there are a lot of stitchers, and I will show this book also, which is Stitched Memories. It is by Tilly Rose, and I will leave a link for that in the description box after the video is over. And she also has this one, Daydream Journals. But these are two that I use a lot as reference for some of my slow stitching projects and everything. So what I am going to be offering, I'm going to set that out of the way for right now so I can be able to show you real quickly that is, and then you see to the side there, that is called a snippet roll. And I am going to be doing a stitch along for that during some of my YouTube lives, but mainly in the Facebook group. So if you are not a member of my Facebook group yet, which coincides with everything I do on my YouTube channel, the name of that Facebook private group is Captain Stitches and Friends, and the link will also be in the description box for that. But I will be doing that mainly in that Facebook group, so it can be a daily thing, comments, give little hints and tips along the way. And also I will be popping in from time to time on Facebook Live and working on some of that snippet roll for those of you that are interested in that. And we can also get together on Zoom, that type of thing, for those that want to do that stitch along project, just so you are aware of that. And if you let me know in the Facebook group that you are wanting to join along with that stitch along, that would be appreciated, so I can jot you down, put you on that, and make sure that I notify you with any information that goes along with making a snippet roll, which give a few other, and I think I have one page marked in the middle of this one, which I know that looks like a scarf, but it is actually a very beautiful snippet roll. So that will be coming up very soon in the Facebook group. Oh, Carol says she's just sewing away. Okay, not far away. Okay. And Robin says she's still here. And Jody says, hello, first of all. Welcome. Says, hi, all. I like the setup, Jean. Thank you very much. Thank you. I will be learning my way around the cameras as we go. Today is my first day using them. Had a little glitch in the beginning and getting the echo off my other device at the beginning, and I do apologize once again for that. But hey, technology is not my forte. I will just say that. And I have got to move this bowl of beads a lot farther out of my way, or I am definitely going to knock those over, and I don't want to have tiny beads all over the place, especially when Stitches comes back into the stitching cottage. But this is my old wooden spool from a manufacturing company that I have, and that is what I will be using for my snippet roll. These come in different sizes. If you can't get it, you can find something very similar, whatever it is that you want to use. It's just you're going to need something that your fabric will attach to, and then you can roll it around, and it is used as a great display of your stitching afterwards. And mine just happens to measure, the inside width of this is 7 inches. So that is how wide my snippet roll will be, and it'll probably be approximately 48, 50 inches long. And that is what we will be working on very soon for those of you that love embroidery, slow stitching, and that type of thing that follow me on YouTube and also in my Facebook group. And then I also do have plans, because I know there are also the cross stitchers out there. And my plans for that is to have add a cross stitch friends portion to my Facebook group, Captain Stitches and Friends. So we will have something going on also for all of you cross stitchers out there that we can work on projects together through that. And that again, we will be able to meet through Zoom or Discord. We'll discuss that in the Facebook group, and I'll take a little poll and see how it is that those of you that have an interest in that would like to work that. But those are two things that I am getting ready to also add so that we can enjoy doing some wonderful stitching as well together, other than just the quilting. And speaking of quilting, a great segue into, that our quarterly quilt project for the first quarter of the year is the Jellied Charm quilt. And for those of you that are new and haven't seen that information yet, I better pop real quick over because I see the chat moving. Let's check and see. Thank you, Mona. Thank you very much and welcome this morning. And Janine, welcome to you as well. And she's saying hello to all the quilty friends. It's hard to know which one to watch. I know, I have to figure out. I thought I was pinning those, but right now, because I'm not using them, we'll just go to the speaker view for right now. I think I have that on, that you should only be seeing me right now. Hopefully I did that correctly. But yes, I will be adding those things that we spoke of. But the Jellied Charm quilt that we have been working on is in the PDF for that pattern is included in the file section of my Facebook group, and that is where you can get that. So the month of January is the first month for that. Everything that you are supposed to have done for that for January is, of course, choosing your fabrics, cutting them out, and sewing the blocks together. That is January's assignment for those of you that are working along with that. Okay, thank you. Look at you, Miss Techie. No, I'm not Miss Techie at all. If you'd been on in the beginning, Mona, it was, remember the days when you were starting out with the tech and nothing was working right? Yeah. And then I, did some stitching thinking that you could see me and that camera wasn't on. So, but I will get it smoothed out more as we go along. But thank you. But it was fun playing around trying to get these set up. But I thought I was pinning the cameras correctly, and evidently I wasn't. But I am going to try and get this. We're going back on gallery because I do want to show. I don't want to, okay. If we remove the pin, are you only seeing myself and the sewing machine camera right now? If you will let me know, I think I removed the stitching view. That is what I hopefully did, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I am going to go ahead and I am going to stitch some of the blocks now for the Jeweled Charm quilt, which that quilt back there on my design wall hanging, which is right below the long arm where I am pointing now, that is the that is an example of the Jellied Charm quilt that we are making. I have two others that I have made, and then this one. You're seeing all three. Okay. So there must not. I thought by taking the pin on that one, it would take it away, but okay. I think I know what I can do. Hang on just a minute. There. Wrong one. Hang on, we spotlighted the wrong one. Now you should be seeing just the sewing machine, I hope. I will teach you now on Zoom. That is too funny. But if the delay wasn't so slow on using YouTube this way, I could actually see what was happening on here. But there, so now we have just the view, and we need to switch that foot out. Sewing some other stuff and forgot to put the 1/4-inch foot back on. There we go. That will work much better. Make sure we have the settings correct. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to stitch. I like how it came upon here and asked if it would you like to join audio to speak? Can you hear me? I hope that you can still hear me. Because I don't think I want to join the audio because then there will be an echo again. I know you can just see me sewing at the sewing machine. I need to know if you can still hear me. And I think that, okay, thank you very much, Carolyn and Mona. It's a little confusing when things pop up on the camera. And I am just going to finger press these. I'm not going to add the pressing station to the mix right now. But we are sewing on both short sides first on this. Which the webcam that I'm getting has a zoom on it, and it also should help with the noise reduction, noise canceling, that you don't hear the sewing machine as loudly when I stitch with that. And I'm not sure how loud that comes across on your end. These blocks sew up very, very quickly. So it is a fun and easy quilt to do. Hello, Susan from Shady Susan. Sewing Sensations by Shady Susan. And my next techie bit to get figured out is Nightbot. So when I need to drop links, I will be able to do that. Haven't had the time to mess with that yet. But I will get there. Zoom has noise canceling, doesn't it? Um, I haven't seen it in any of it, but I really don't. I couldn't answer that right at this time. It's Susan. I've never had anyone say that my sewing machine is too loud when I've done sewing previously, so hopefully that's never been a problem. Thank you, Mona. I think my main thing with Nightbot is just taking the time to actually download it and read all the information and everything on it. But yes, thank you for offering to help me with that. Oh, yes, I know you can hear my machine. I just don't think it's, you know, way too loud and way too annoying, because when I have been sewing in groups with Zoom, no one has ever complained about the sound of it and said that I need to turn to mute myself or turn it down because it was too loud. That's what I was referring to. Just don't like when a sewing machine is overpowering and really loud when you're on a video. Oops. I was about to sew that on the wrong way. Did you all notice that? It's because the back side of this fabric is also very pretty. Mona is saying I don't need to download. Well, it's got to be somewhere out there, though. It's not on any of my devices, so I think I have to go out and grab it somewhere. I'm sorry, I had to laugh at that, Susan. Oh. Aren't sewing machines supposed to make noise? It would be like a silent movie if we were sitting here stitching and there was no sound coming out of it. We want to be able, you notice that, where am I? I'm holding it up to the wrong camera. Now I got to figure out which way to go. Okay, there is a little bit of selvage on there, but because they're jelly roll strips, I wasn't concerned with that little bit. So I'm not trimming it off. It's in the seam allowance and I'm not concerned about it. Before anyone mentions it, hey, there's seam allowance on there. That little bit is not going to hurt anything in this quilt. I do know that the faster you sew, the louder your sewing machine comes across, but I have a hard time stitching slow, so we'll just say that. Nightbot TV. Well, you know, that's another thing. It would be nice. I have a TV in here, but I think it's a little far away, but it is large. And unfortunately, there isn't any place else that I can put it. But I thought, oh, it would be nice to be able to use that to watch the chat on this way, especially when you're old and not able to see as well. But yeah, the problems I had this morning, just imagine if I tried to get my YouTube to come up on that when I'm doing a live. That could be quite interesting. But I'm glad those of you that were here when I began. Stuck through the little glitches and the echoing this morning. I think I know what I did wrong on that, and we'll be able to not have that hopefully happen next time. But I have, these are rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 6 across, and I believe it is 6 down. But I am just working on 6 at a time because that's how, I know that's how many are in the row. And there are 36 blocks in total. So yeah, I've noticed that you use yours that way, Susan. I've noticed several that do that, and I thought, oh, that would be so handy. But my view is over here and my TV is over there. So I would be looking quite a ways, which, okay, you couldn't see me do that, I don't think, because I only have this camera on now. But my TV is all the way off to the right. It's not sitting near my stitching area at all. And there isn't any place that I can move it in here closer. So that's the only thing I don't like about that. I would really be turning my head away from everyone to check out the chat. But I think I have gone. I try not to talk while I'm sewing, but that's hard to do also. I try not to talk while I am stitching on the machine. Of course, stitching by hand didn't, cause any noise, but the sewing machine does a little bit, so I try not to chat too much while I'm stitching. I have a 40-inch TV that hubby bought me for Christmas last year. Yes, mine is a 42 inch. And it's sitting on top of some other stuff over there next to the windows. And it's funny because we got this one new just recently because I had one that just was not good. And I have to admit, good morning, Jersey. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. And I have to laugh because, the way YouTube does comments. In one place, it'll say Jersey. And in the other place, when you go to click on it to reply, it calls you by your real name. And I'm trying to remember that by your real name that you are Jersey. But I noticed that last night in the comment. I did not catch that until afterwards, but after time, my slow old mind will remember that, Jersey. You can't hear my machine at all? Well, that's because I don't have the audio on that camera. Duh. Oh, and it's not picking it up on the other, evidently. That's good to know. So I can keep talking while I'm sewing then with it set up this way. Oh, okay. But it shows up both ways. Some, on the one, on your notifications, it shows up as Jersey when you comment. But then when you go in to reply to it, it shows up as your regular name. I do not know why YouTube does that. That is the strangest thing. Very, very strange. But it is almost the end of January. So those of you that are working on this jellied charm quilt, you should be nearing, if you want to stay caught up, you should be almost done sewing all your blocks together. Because starting in February, we will go on to the next step. Ooh, I gotta tell you, I got a new little heater in here too, and it is really, it's putting out the heat this morning. When I'm done with this live, I'm definitely going to have to turn that down. Haven't been that warm out here in a long time. And I have two more left. Two left to go. We'll do one more. Susan, I have to go shop for fabric, but I can still hear you. We'll just be on the other side of the long arm. You do my kind of shopping. Shop your stash. I love that when we can do that. I on Wednesday am going to be checking out a quilt retreat venue that I am hoping to be able to use and book for future in-person retreats. That is something that I have been wanting to do for a long time, and hopefully it is going to be able to come to fruition. How's baby Stitches doing? Make more videos with her. She was supposed to be in the beginning of this one, but my husband has a slight, attraction to Stitches also. And he has her in with him right now. But yes, I will be getting her in here with me in more of the videos, and she will be taking part in the stitching cottage as well, which she does spend the evenings out here. I'm just usually not doing a video late in the evening. That's when I do most of my work. But I may have to pop on once in a while and do something in the evenings with her, because I know many of you are interested in Stitches. And it is so funny because she seems to be interested in the stitching as well. She loves to get up on my lap while I am stitching. And she actually watches the needle on the sewing machine. It's just a little hard right now because she's small, and intuitive and into everything, to make sure that I have a good grasp on her so that she doesn't decide to move her paw towards that or grab anything that is around the machine at this point in time. Now I could do one of my lives, especially when I am doing hand stitching, and set up the camera over in my hand stitching corner, because she loves to sit in the chair with me while I'm doing that. And that would be very, very easy for her to join us on the video that way. So we will check that out, Jersey. She is a cutie. Yes, thank you. Thank you, June. And Tracy. And why are you saying hello again, Jean? Or are you saying something else? The heart is in the way there, Nancy. From our treasured home. Or did you leave and come back on? It's funny that you call her cutie pie, Jersey, because my husband calls her sweetie pie. They are quite attached. Did you mean to say hi, Jean, again, Nancy? I don't know. Did you leave and come back on? I'm sorry. I didn't notice if you did. She is a terrier. She is a miniature schnauzer. So she'll get, like around 10 pounds. Some get a little bit bigger. Right now, I haven't purchased any cameras. I'm using what I had right now, but I did purchase, that's supposed to come today, a webcam. I can't remember the brand. I'll share that with you later, Mona, because I don't remember. I know that it has zoom and noise canceling. It has a light that you can change out 3 different ways. But I don't remember the name of the brand right now. Ow! It was Anastasia saying hello. Oh, okay. Hello, Anastasia. I know you can't see me waving right now. Let me see if I can get my hand under. Hello. We'll wave from, there we go. We'll wave from underneath the machine. I keep forgetting that you can't see me. It takes a little while to adjust to having more than one camera view. You think you're still on the main one, and I switched it to where I am only on the sewing machine camera right now. But I'm sure after a few times, hopefully, it will become second nature. And we won't have the glitches through my lack of technology, knowing tech. There might be glitches because something else happens that's not in my control. But hopefully I will get better at remembering things. Yeah, I don't, with using Zoom, I don't have to switch on anything. I just click on the view thing on Zoom and it changes. I'm just signed into Zoom on 3 different devices, but luckily my Wi-Fi is good enough with the extender that I have out here, so that's not causing any problems at this point in time anyway. But there, I have the 6, and we're going to change the view now. I'm done at the sewing machine. Speaker. Okay, it's not switching. Let me try this one. Okay, there I am. So hopefully I am back to showing myself, but I have got all 6 of those blocks stitched up. So another row complete for the jellied charm quilt. And I'm going to put my clip back on that so that those are all together. Set it over in the container for those. And oh, as I did that, I just noticed there was one other thing that I wanted to show you, because I don't know if any of the rest of you have any old cigar boxes, but I have 3 cute different sizes. Which way does this open? We have this cute little one, and in a minute I'll tell you what my plans are for these. And then we have this next size, and how nicely it opens. And then this one is actually wooden. What does it say? I don't know. It's in another language, so I can't read it. But Arturo Fuente, imported, handmade in Dominican Republic, it says. But this is actually a wooden one and has the little thing there. But what I am going to do with these, because I've had them quite a while, and I thought, oh, they're nice for cute little storage and everything, but they sit there and they don't get used. So what I'm going to do is I am going to research through Pinterest and other places, and I am going to find a way to, hello, Donna from Handmade by Ying. Welcome, welcome. I didn't see you pop on. I was busy learning camera angles, but what I am going to do with those is I'm going to research, and I'm going to find a way to make those into little sewing boxes. And that is what I'm going to do with those. So stay tuned, and I will share my journey in making those into little sewing boxes with all of you also. Thank you. Thank you, Donna. You are back to just you talking. Thank you very much. Thank you for all of you that are helping me through these different cameras and the switching to know that, yes, I am on the one that I want to be on. That helps a lot. Yes, the little one. I love the little one. This will be great for a take-along little sewing box. So that I am going to be researching, and that will be coming up real soon. So stay tuned. Don't change that dial. Oh, and Sandra Real, good morning and welcome to you. Finding the picture is really blurry. Is it blurry for anyone else? I hope not. And that is what I am hoping, that when the new webcam comes this morning and I get that on, that I will not have that problem. But you are the first one that has mentioned that, Sandra. So I can't tell. It's not blurry on my end, but I'm sorry if it is. And Daniel, I see a lot of squirrels in here, LOL. Yes, there are a lot of squirrels in here this morning. Thank you for all joining me. And so Becca, well, good morning. So Becca, thank you for joining also. And she says that she is subscriber number 900, which I can't see that right now, but that is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Good to know. A room full of squirrels. Hi, Becca. Yes. And that is so funny that there's another squirrel thing, because, you know, all of you that have been following me since the beginning know that in my stitching cottage, there are pink squirrels, and they run around and they distract and they get into all type of mischief. So finding another squirrel group was quite fun and comical. And Donna from Quilt Fact is here also. Well, you're all jumping in at the tail end. I'm so sorry you weren't here in the beginning to see some of the other stuff that I was doing, and the camera angle of being able to actually show me doing the hand stitching on a needleboard that I was working on. You'll have to go back and watch the replay, at least watch not the very beginning where all the glitches were and nothing was working right, but a little farther into when we got that that bug and glitch figured out and on to all the good things. But we are going, you look clear now. That is, cleaned my glasses. That is funny. Thank you, Danielle. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, I am coming up on my first year anniversary of doing YouTube, which is February 14th. And not that I am, really, trying, and I'm not one that is concerned with numbers, but I just kind of, when I saw how my numbers were going up, I thought to myself, oh, it would be nice if, by my first year anniversary, I hit that 1,000 mark. So I guess I'm 100 away right now, and things have been going pretty nice the last week. So I still will say I don't believe that will happen, but if it does, it will be a nice 1-year anniversary gift for my channel. So just to let you know, if there's anybody out there that I know you are all subscribed, well, you may not be, because on Zoom, I was not able to put that subscribers only mode on yet. I have to figure that out. Wasn't able to do that this morning. But yeah, if you're not subscribed and you're on here this morning, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like what I have been doing and showing you today. And those of you that have been subscribed for a while, if you want to share out your favorite video, whether it be a recorded one or a live, if you share it out, to some of your friends or out there, that may be a way that we can find some new subscribers to join us also. And let me make sure I haven't. Oh, okay. We'll do that. Never thought of that, Donna. Yeah, and there wasn't by going through the Zoom for streaming. I don't know if there is a way to be able to schedule, that. So there's a notification on YouTube. If there is, I haven't figured that part out yet, but I quick put it in the community tab this morning when I decided that I was going through Zoom instead of the normal way. But yeah, thank you. I will look for ways to be able to get that notification into people ahead of time. And Lisa Shirley from Around to It, almost said that wrong, is here with us this morning. And she said to please send prayers to Sarah's quilting. Oh, her mom passed away on January 20th. Yes, very, very sorry. Hard times for the family there. So those of you that are good prayer warriors, if you will send out some prayers to Sarah's quilting. She is a great, great gal. I'm sure she would appreciate it and know that we are all thinking about her at this very sad time and difficult time in her life. And I don't. Grandma Debbie. I like that. I was going, okay, which Debbie is the grandma? And then it's like, yes, you do refer to yourself as the grandma quilter. Okay, so that is all that I have for you today. Thank you, everyone, for popping on and joining me. It was great to see you all. And thank you to those that were on at the very beginning with me and helped me through the glitches. Hopefully, we will have those smoothed out, and that will go a lot better here in the future. But for those of you that haven't seen the rest of the cameras, we will click on, hopefully, and I think I have to remove, yeah. You should be seeing all the cameras right now, which of course I set stuff in the way because removed, but this was actually under here so you could see me as I was stitching on there. So are you seeing all 3 cameras again? Hopefully. And it does show that on my side over here. So yes, you are. But we have the stitching view now, so you can see when I am doing hand stitching, and we have the sewing machine view so that you will also be able to see when I am sewing. And then of course we have me up here so you don't miss my lovely face while we are using the other cameras. But I am still working on that. This is my first time with it. Just figured out how to hook some of them up last night. So hopefully that will run more smoothly in the future. And everyone is saying goodbye to everyone. Thank you again for joining me. It is the beginning of a new week. So everyone, have an awesome week. Don't forget to check back on Friday for my next live. And I will be doing my tip demo Wednesday, which is a recorded one on Wednesday evening. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day. And I will see you again soon. But remember, in the meantime, I can keep you in stitches. Bye-bye, everyone.